Conor McGregor has called out the UFC and Dana White following the UFC White House Card, and according to many fans, his comments have sparked a conversation that the promotion probably didn't expect people to be having after one of the biggest events in company history. Because while most of the MMA world was focused on the fights themselves, McGregor was focused on something happening outside the cage. According to Conor, one of the strangest parts of the event was the apparent lack of UFC stars and UFC legends present at a card that was being promoted as one of the biggest nights in the history of the sport.
Dana, when you're walking out there at the Ellipse and you're seeing the amount of fans in front of you, and then you walk out there tonight and you see the production paying off, what exactly is going through your mind? And then do you have to sort of think like, okay, this is as good as it's ever going to get, or we're going to have to find some way to top this sort of event?
I mean, that's what I thought about the Sphere, and then here we are now. So I don't try to overthink that kind of stuff. It's just you put together an event where people can't get into it, yet 60,000 people show up to the weigh-ins, and then like I said, almost 200,000 people over 2 days to stand in the grass and watch it on screens, and it's incredible. It was an amazing experience. This was a one-of-one that will never happen again. And
you don't think there's a chance the president says, that was good, let's do it again next year?
I can't afford it. There's no fucking way we can do this again. I'll never do the Sphere again, and we'll never do this again.
It was like the perfect experience for anybody that had never watched the UFC before to see it that way at the White House like that. I mean, it was nuts. A huge experience for the fans that got to be there in the Ellipse. And I saw videos. These guys, they were having so much fun. It's like everyone's in there for free. You don't have to pay for the tickets. There's 85,000 people out there. They're all screaming and cheering, and the drinks are flowing, and it was wild. I mean, just absolutely wild.
What a 250th.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's a sport that was like banned just, 15, 20 years ago or something?
Joe Rogan couldn't stop talking about the UFC's historic White House event. He called it one of the craziest experiences the sport has ever seen, with tens of thousands of fans creating an unbelievable atmosphere. For Rogan, the event wasn't just a UFC show. It was a moment that showed how massive the sport has become. Drop your thoughts and subscribe for more.
Instead, much of the attention appeared to revolve around celebrities, public figures, and personalities from outside MMA, leading McGregor to question why more UFC fighters weren't being showcased at an event that was supposed to celebrate the sport itself. Whether people agree with him or not, the comments immediately got fans talking, because there is an argument that if you're putting on a historic UFC event, particularly one as unique and high profile as the White House Card, then many fans naturally expect to see the biggest names from throughout UFC history involved in some capacity.
Fighting for the interim heavyweight title, Alvin, you've not got the UFC heavyweight champion of the world there. Have you got any plans, Tom, to be there?
No, they've not asked me. No one's asked me yet, so...
How insane is that? I mean, imagine someone fighting with the heavyweight championship of the world and Usyk not being around to talk about it and commentate on it, especially if he's not actually in camp.
Or Fury Magmadov without AJ there, for example.
Exactly. To not have Tom there on that night will be a crime.
Disrespect you?
No, I don't feel disrespected.
Why though? Because you're the champ, Tom.
If they ask me, I'd be there.
But it shouldn't even be quick. He has to be there because these two are fighting to face him. He's the champ. I don't understand how he can't be. There's two fellas fighting for the interim title. The interim title leads to the heavyweight title. He's the heavyweight champion.
Dana White, get Tom Aspinall, please, to the UFC. For a bit of punditry, I do agree with you, Tony, for what it's worth. That you should be there. Just get him there,
I actually would.
I just think he'd have to be there being that
There's no excuses. I would. I'm going to watch it from home anyway, so if you're there, it's going to be even better, isn't it?
After all, the UFC didn't become a global powerhouse because of politicians, celebrities, or influencers. It became a global powerhouse because of the fighters who spent years building the brand into what it is today. That's why McGregor's criticism has resonated with so many people. The interesting part, however, is the timing, because Conor isn't making these comments while sitting quietly on the sidelines. He's making them while preparing for what many people believe could be one of the biggest comeback fights of his entire career.
Because there's been this talk about a lack of stars, and you see on Sunday, Ilya loses, Alex loses, and of course everyone loses at some point. But it does feel like there's a bit of a lack of excitement right now in the product. Sunday, sort of on the side. And so do you feel like almost like the sport needs you back, the organization needs you back?
Listen, I won't say the game needs me, but it's sure good to have me. You know what I'm saying? It's sure good to have me. So I'm happy with that.
With a showdown against Max Holloway drawing closer, the former two-division champion appears more motivated than he has been in years. And judging by the footage emerging from training camp, he's determined to remind the MMA world why he became one of the biggest stars combat sports has ever seen.
Do you have regrets?
No. God knows my heart. And the things that I have gone through, you know, a young man, I came into all this. I forgive myself for what I forgive myself for disgracing the position that God put me in, which I've done many times, and I won't do it again. And that's where I'm at today. I don't have regrets. I'm happy and thankful for the lessons that I learned on the way.
This relationship with religion is somewhat new, right? I've not heard you over the course of your career speak about God like this. Where did this come from?
I'm a religious man. I was raised Catholic by my mother and my family. We're a religious family. It takes a deeper meaning when you hit rock bottom and there's nothing else there but God. And then just the divine coincidences, everything just, I keep seeing it. I keep being shown it, and I'm going all in on it.
You say that word rock bottom. It feels profound when you say it. When was rock bottom?
With a few dark moments, Ariel. A few dark moments. But I relish the opportunity to show my strength. I was put in the position to showcase my strength. So I stood up and showed it, and that's what I done. A few dark moments. I'm through them. I'm in the light. I'm walking the tightrope, and I'm keeping my balance. And please God, I keep it. Thank you, God.
That's where the story starts becoming even more interesting. For years, fans have debated whether the UFC still needs Conor McGregor as much as it once did. The promotion has produced new champions, new stars, and new rivalries, but every time McGregor's name re-enters the conversation, the level of attention surrounding him instantly reminds everyone that there is still nobody quite like him. His ability to dominate headlines remains unmatched. His ability to create debate remains unmatched, and his ability to make people care about a fight months before it happens remains unmatched. That's one of the reasons his comments about the White House card have gained so much traction. They're not simply being viewed as criticism, they're being viewed as a reminder of what made Conor such a unique figure in the first place.
I know I was going to come back. I learned a lesson in that lapse in concentration in the camp in preparation that I have since adjusted. And, you know, that's why I think I'm only warming up here in this game. I really, really believe I'm only warming up. You know, I used to always train a certain way, throw certain shots that the fight game has never even seen. Many shots I have in my arsenal, the fight game has never even seen.
He has always been willing to say what many fighters are thinking, but aren't willing to say publicly. At the same time, his upcoming fight against Max Holloway suddenly feels massive. Not just because of the matchup itself, because of what it represents. For Holloway, it's an opportunity to prove that he can finally close the chapter on one of the biggest rivalries of his career. For McGregor, it's a chance to prove that after all the setbacks, injuries, layoffs, and criticism, he can still compete at the highest level and still generate the type of performances that made him famous. That's why fans are paying such close attention to everything happening around his training camp. Every video gets analyzed, every interview gets dissected, every comment creates headlines. And now, after calling out the UFC over the White House card, McGregor has once again placed himself at the center of the conversation despite not even competing on the event itself. Whether people agree with his criticism or not, one thing is clear. Conor McGregor believes the fighters who built the UFC deserve more respect, and he appears more motivated than ever to remind everyone exactly why his name remains one of the biggest attractions in combat sports.